Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay cast. We have got what should be a fun match here today. In the top right-hand side of the map, we have got a Protoss player. He is the best, and his name is Zest. Zest, one of the top Protoss players in the world. He's pretty darn consistent. He has very high highs. There'll be times which he'll just drop series or drop matches, and you'll be like, Zest, what on earth are you doing? And so even though he's a little bit of like a wild card as far as players go, like his crazy aggression, certain traits about his play, he's still very consistent as far as getting big tournament wins and things like that goes, and doesn't really matter how you play as long as you can get those wins, right? And now in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have got soO, the second place champion as far as being the second place player goes. All jokes aside, soO is a very solid Zerg player. He's been playing this game, oh gosh, a long time. Yeah, this game has pretty much been his life. He's won won a few big tournaments, I think. Definitely had his second place finishes, but he is one of the Zerg players who's known to be the best. And one of the things I'd say about soO is that he's really good, even when you don't necessarily, like, there'll be times in which you'll say, oh, okay, there's all these good Zerg players in the tournament, and soO's kind of just a given. And people don't say, oh, I think soO's the favorite to win this tournament, but then everyone knows he could come out and win any tournament. And that's why it's going to be a fun match between soO and Zest. Of course, PvZ on the map Zen, and wow, that was a long intro, as there's just been a lot of little things going on. soO forced to take his third as his natural, or take his natural as his third, and yeah, so long intros there. But ladies and gentlemen, for Zest and soO, a world-class ZVP, let's try and hit 100 likes on this video. If we could do that, it would be absolutely amazing. I love me some good Starcraft 2 Korean play on this channel, and so yeah, hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. I mean, it's daily Starcraft over here, and subscribe, it's free. Now, as we've been waiting, things have kind of heated up a little bit. We've got the Queens doing their injects now. soO's got his third on the way. Zest is committing to a Stargate, and then just taking his natural, shading in with the Adept and such. A little bit of harassment here and there. Adept gonna shade into the main base. Oh, it might actually commit here. Does cancel that though, as soO just had a few more lings finish up, and he's actually got a few on Zest's side of the map. This is forcing Zest to use a recall to get his Adept back here to help out. I guess he just really wanted to deal with these Zerglings, and he kind of had to. Like, the Adept will end up just chasing down this Ling. The Lingu does get killed off, and the game continues on as Zest has this Stargate, which was unfortunately spotted by soO. But oh, Zest, the mind game play, cancels the Stargate, goes into a Twilight Council and a Robo facility behind this. Instead, actually not behind, instead of the Stargate. Really exciting to see Zest do something like this. Anytime a player basically completely changes path on just like a whim, kinda, I love it. Because right now, soO, he's thinking about oracles coming his way, thinking about Phoenix, things like that. He's committing a drone to a spore crawler. Might commit more later on, we'll see. So he's a little bit in the dark. Right now he's positioning his Queens to deal with an oracle that won't be coming, because Zest has just got up a Twilight Council. He's going to throw up a Templar Archives. And I figure that Zest is going to be able to... Zest is going to just go into like an Archon drop or something like that. I do apologize. I had to clear my throat there for a second as the game continues on. Sometimes I'll just be like having a relatively quiet morning, then it's like time to yammer on about some Starcraft. So it can be like that sometimes. We are seeing Zest going to be going for that Archon drop most likely with the Prism, so he'll warp in a few Templar and drop with the Prism. soO comes in with an Overlord, sees this, probably assumes that the Stargate's cancelled now, and we actually see soO doesn't have a Roach Warren done, or he just starts it as he sees the Prism, so this could actually be a very powerful attack from Zest. if you have Archons against Lings as a Protoss player, you're generally in a good spot. Zest may be able to get some damage done with some Archons before the Roaches are out. I mean, the Roach Horn is 20-ish seconds or so. If this was a normal Archon timing, we would be seeing... If this was a normal Archon timing, we would basically be seeing there already be Roaches on the way for soO. Nice find for soO, though. He does get a wraparound on one of the Archons. The Lings, though, will take damage due to the Archon finishing up. And now, all of a sudden, soO has got to deal with Archons and a Prism in the control of one of the world's best Protoss players. Zest does have a very injured Archon, though, due to those Lings getting on top of them while they were morphing. That actually saves soO a lot of grief. Otherwise, the Archons would be able to tank so much more, be able to stand longer. And oh my gosh, Zest, what are you doing? Zest is freestyling today, man. We see Zest throw up triple Stargate. Oh my gosh. So a fake out. He cancels the first Stargate, then he goes into an Archon drop. Now he's researching +1 attack and is making 3 Stargates. This is an insane play from the Protoss player. You never see anything like this at this level of play. I mean, there's a few cheesy players, but for something like this out of one of the best Protoss players like Zest, oh my gosh, I can't. This is nuts. The fact that Zest is going for this build. What's he even going to make out of 3 Stargates? It's just going to be mass Phoenix against the Zerg. He's got the resources banked up, triple Chrono banked up to be making 3 Phoenix at a time. And all of a sudden, he's just going to be able to show his hand, fly over the map. And the Phoenix will be able to lift up everything. If Zest gets up, say, like 9 Phoenix, he'll be able to just lift up Queens. soO's now thinking of making Swarm Host and a Nidus. You know what completely destroys Swarm Host? Phoenix do. I think this is such a crazy play from the Protoss. soO is in the dark about this. If he was committing an Overseer or something in, it would be a really good scout for him. But for now, though, he's going to have to deal with a Protoss player who's just shooting out mass Phoenix. I'm so excited to be watching this. soO's in the dark about this. He doesn't know. He's just macroing up normally. And I wonder how many Phoenix Zest is going to wait for. He's probably just going to have to wait till the Nidus is done. Then maybe he'll show the Phoenix, lift up a bunch of the Swarm Host or something. Oh, it's going to be so cool, this happening. Let's take a look. The Phoenix count is now going to be going up to 9. As Zest hears the Nidus, he immediately moves out with the Phoenix. He doesn't see the Swarm Host just yet. Now he's going to see them. He can start lifting up a few of the Swarm Hosts. Maybe going to be dropping the Archons, gets guaranteed kills on Queens. I'd like to see him lift up some of the Swarm Host as well to get guaranteed kills on those, prevent them just from popping back into the Nidus. For now, though, the Phoenix just doing a really good job against the Queens, the Archons, and Zealots. Going to keep the ground army away. This is such a sick play from Zest. He does end up lifting up some of the Swarm Hosts, and he completely destroys soO's plan with a mass Phoenix surprise. He says, surprise, Zerg. Here is just a ton of Phoenix. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. The Phoenix just getting tons of damage done, picking off whatever units that they can. soO does throw up 2 Spore Crawlers. However, unfortunately for soO, Phoenix don't actually care that much about being shot by spores. They're very tanky units. They can get in, get the damage done, and pull out. So if soO tries to run Swarm Host out of this Nidus again, he'd be in trouble. So he's actually deciding to go for a Southern Nidus, which I actually completely missed, and now may actually get Zest's 3rd base, which I'll say is great damage done. soO's even throwing up more spores in front of this. The Nidus another Nidus is going to be going down, and so these Nidus are actually very tough for Zest to clean up. I mean, Phoenix are his main weapon of choice. So I'm not really sure what Zest should be making at this point. I mean, if he can grab some of the Swarm Host, it would be really good for him. The Phoenix, I suppose, can stop a wave of Locusts, but Zest losing his 3rd did hurt him quite a bit. The element of surprise with all these Phoenix maybe didn't get as much damage done as he wanted, and now the Locusts are going to be coming towards his natural. There's going to be a 4th Nidus going up. We've got 1, 2, 3 Nidus, Locust dealing damage at the natural, and then another Nidus being called up in the main. This one will be shut down, but man, this is crazy play from soO. Crazy counterplay, just to set up shop with a few spores to defend the Nidus. I absolutely love this play. Really cool to see. And it's, yeah, oh, I do like this from Zest, leaving a few units over here. But now we take a look. Zest trying to use the Prism trying to get some units out, but soO made enough roaches to actually defend these locations from ground and air attacks. Phoenix are going to come on in. They are going to lift up a lot of the units, tanking the Spore Crawler damage. The Spores put out a lot of damage on these units on the Phoenix, but the Phoenix are very tanky, so Zest actually getting some really valuable pickups with the Phoenix. 16 Phoenix is no joke, lifting up most of the roaches, most of the Ravagers, and so even though that Zest's ground army didn't fare too well, the Phoenix are going to get a lot of damage done cleaning this up. 1 or 2 Locust actually remain. Zest is going to lift up Locust. How often do you see Locust get lifted up with Phoenix? I am a little bit concerned for Zest, though, as this game goes on. He doesn't really have much tech on the ground. He's making double Immortals right now. The Phoenix are still doing work. However, it is quite concerning, as soO just needs to defend these Nidus Worms, and then he can just keep spewing out Locust. And with his mass roaches, he actually can defend these quite well. We see Phoenix coming in. They're going to start shooting down on the Queens, killing most of the Queens for soO. So it is going to be rather costly for him every time he pokes out of a Nidus, as there wasn't actually really anything outside this to defend it, but it looks like Zest is out of Phoenix energy. He actually can't lift anymore. You guys say, hey Zest, do you lift? He'll say, I mean, I do, but not with Phoenix, as he's completely out of energy. Now we see roaches charging forward. Zest can maybe lift that Immortal to keep it alive. He does. Well done doing that. Now going to start lifting up the roaches, but it does go to show that even this many Phoenix can run out of energy when they're just lifting and killing more and more units. Zest is being very efficient, but he still hasn't been able to get soO off his back to break these Nidus Worm positions. And this is proving invaluable for soO, as the Locusts are going to be dealing more damage at this base. They're just right-clicked on that Nexus. They probably won't get it this time. However, there's always another wave. Zest does seem to be stabilizing, though, as he is going to be killing off the Nidus to the bottom right. If he can get a couple more Niduses, he'll be in a really good spot. The aggression of soO will be halted, and it looks like the aggression of soO has halted, as soO has actually just gone into Infestors. Maybe it hasn't, though, as it's gonna be Infestor Swarm Host on the doorstep, and all it takes is one good fungal to catch a lot of the Phoenix. Really great catch. Zest recalls the Phoenix to get them out. I mean, I'm not sure if that was worth it or not, instead of just running. I guess he was worried of a chain fungal. Phoenix are still very good in the sky, though, at picking off the Locust before they land on in. Zest will have to deal with this scary army, though. Roaches, Queens, waves and waves of Locust. Zest is going for a Colossus. This is something that I really do enjoy seeing. He's now going to move across the map with his Phoenix. He lost a few of them. They've got really great efficiency this game, but now he says, right, they're not too useful against this much Zerg, so he's going to go for a counterattack with the Phoenix, just start killing off as many drones as he can. I really, really enjoy this decision. Can't go in there because of the Spores. Just going to grab a drone. Infestors have actually come back through the Nidus, so a very powerful tool for soO, being able to go back and defend, and what a match between these players. Zest is hanging on. I'd say he's at the deficit, though, pardon me, just because soO is on a 4-base economy now. And Zest is still only on 3 bases, or soO's on a 5-base economy, pardon me. And yeah, it's going to be tough for Zest to break this location. He does have +1 attack. He is getting out Colossus, though, which I really do enjoy, all the while soO makes double Baneling Nest, because he really wants some Banelings. Yeah, really, really exciting match between these two players, and the crazy thing is it's kind of stabilized. There's not that many Swarm Hosts for soO to actually get too much done with. They're not really worth it at this point, but then he's still holding on to this position on the doorstep of Zest. Zest sees some Lings moving out on the map. He's still just building up his Colossus count, which I must say I really do like. Colossus without an answer can be very, very powerful for a Protoss player. 4th base for Zest is being established, which is exciting to see. If he can get that up, I think he'll be fine economically. Another Nidus goes up for soO. He's going to keep using that tool to bounce back and forth. There's Infestors in there, so Zest has to be careful. There's a chance they could pop out and fungal. It looks like Zest, though, says, right, I got a big old ground army. I got 8 Immortals. I've got Archons. I've got Colossus. This is actually going to be enough to dislodge soO to start breaking these Nidus Worm positions, which is very, very exciting. Cybercore just about get saved. No, not quite. Zest didn't lift up the last 2 locusts. That's a bummer, losing that. Zest has held on, though. He's got up to 4 bases. He's making Banes, or, well, soO's making Banes. He's getting Corruptors. He's getting towards that late-game tech, but Zest's army is still very formidable. Any Protoss force with 8 Immortals in it is hard to call bad. There's Psystorm now on the way for Zest. I like how he's getting right into that, not wasting any time. This one Overlord could still be a pain if it calls in a Nidus for him. But things really have turned around for Zest. That could have easily been a situation which he lost, but no, he's playing a really, really great ZVP. We take a look. The Phoenix are still alive on the map. They're going to try and get some damage. Maybe they can grab some Infestors at some point. soO's going to try and keep Nidusing. What he'll really use that for is a little bit of a question, seeing as how I'm not sure how many Swarm Hosts there are. 4 Swarm Hosts remain. I mean, 8 Locust does deal a lot of damage still. So, it's definitely worth it. soO, though, is getting up an Ultra Cavern. He's getting up 3/3 upgrades, or +3 missile attacks. Getting up Adrenal Glands, getting up Neural Parasite. Really, any tech the Zerg player could want, he's getting it. The Locust got into the main base of Zest. They're now going to kill off the Templar Archives. That's quite painful. Fortunately for Zest, he did finish up Psystorm, but he's going to want to build another one of those right away. This Nidus hasn't actually been killed off yet by these Stalkers. Yeah. Really, really exciting game. I'm just kind of surprised that it's slowed down so much at this point. This game was just like attack, attack, attack. Really, really crazy game. Phoenix flying about can lift up a Queen, maybe grab a few drones. Getting damage done to soO's 5th base is nice. Any damage to his economy is good, because soO's economy, while doing quite alright, isn't actually super amazing. At the same time, though, he's going to try and deal some damage to Zest's economy and make it not alright as these Banelings roll in. And oh my gosh, the Banelings just hit all the High Templar of Zest. What a mistake from the Protoss player. Oh god, there was 4 High Templar right there, and they're just gone now. That damage is crazy, crazy for Zest. I do want to note that I'm zooming back in. I tend to spend a lot of commentary zooming out, and I think it was definitely relevant when soO was kind of bouncing back and forth, but I do take note that I'm going to try and watch staying zoomed in as much as, or be zoomed in as much as possible. Phoenix still moving about for Zest. Broodlords are on the way for soO. Infestors are out. They've got max energy. Look at all the larvae for soO, too. He's got 73 larvae. He's starting to build up a bank, so he'll have a very, very gross remax. A couple of Banelings get killed off. soO calls in another Nidus. There's 1 Swarm Host left. soO doesn't even want to keep this Swarm Host, I bet. All the while, soO just with mass Queens, by the way. Mass Queens. 17 Queens, 7 Infestors, 8 Broodlords. What a crazy late game composition from the Zerg. And this is something that I'm actually excited to see. It's been a while since we've seen a late game Protoss take on a Zerg to this extent. Phoenix are going to target down some Broodlords. I mean, they've got +1 attack, so they're actually dealing some pretty good damage. They're going to lift up an Infestor. Gets that nicely done. And oh, Zest actually recalls them. So smart. They do teleport out. Fungal wears off. And the Phoenix actually stayed alive, just grabbing an Infestor, grabbing 2 Broodlords. Not bad at all for Zest, who, by the way, is also building up a huge bank for himself. I was just about to say I'd like to see him throw up some more cannons, and he's going to be doing just that. He's getting up Tempest, getting up +3 attack. Another base for Zest would be good at some point, as soon as he can take it. However, he may have to deal with this Zerg army. soO, by the way, using the 1 remaining Swarm Host to be as much of a pain as possible. Zest, though, actually with a crazy rogue Blink Stalker force, moved out on the map and sniped a base. The concern right now, though, is that he doesn't actually have a recall. He deals with some Banelings, though, so getting really good value with these units. Some of the Stalkers hitting this location, gonna fight the Lings. Others trapped to the north. Some are actually attacking another base that soO is going for, so not bad damage at all from Zest. Zest, though, is rather pinned back in his base. He's made Tempest to start attacking the Broodlords. If soO's on point with the Transfuse, though, these Broodlords shouldn't really be killable. And the Infestors are there really to prevent Zest from diving on this army. Those Stalkers get caught out. However, that was really good damage getting done by Zest. Picked off 1 base, denied the building of another. soO, however, has taken a base in the bottom left, so both these players are still doing pretty well on economy. Zest will be running out of gas sooner, though, literally and metaphorically, as his bases are actually going to start mining out. I think the main has, the natural has. He is going to need another base up sooner rather than later. soO's looking to attack on into Zest's base. We'll see if Zest can hold on. He's got Templar, he's got Colossus and Tempest. At one time, this was the dream composition for the Protoss player, but now Zergs with Broodlords, with Infestors and Queens really put up a fight, and Protoss are quite uncomfortable in this position in the late game. Zest has spent virtually all of his gas. All he can really make at this point is Zealots. Yes, he's just got virtually zero gas, but he's going to go in for an attack, and I'm not sure if this is the fight Zest wanted to take. He's got to be dropping Psystorm. Where is the Psystorm, Zest? Zest didn't drop a single Psystorm. Oh my gosh, where is it? What's he doing? What is Zest doing? He's just taking a straight-up fight. If he dropped Psystorm, though, it would have been huge. Oh, that's such a mistake, I feel, from Zest, unless I'm missing something. Oh no, I'm not sure what Zest was doing. He lifted with the Phoenix. But the Zerg army seems to... I mean, the Zerg army kind of actually gets wiped. The Queens and Broodlords do okay. But Zest's force stands strong. The concern, though, is that soO had a much greater gas bank. We're going to be seeing soO make 11 Ultralisks to try and round this out. And this is going to be a tough one for Zest to deal with. A few Ultras can be dealt with. 11 is just mental. There's going to be mass Lings on the way, too. And this is actually surprisingly hard for Protoss to counter, because Lings counter Immortals, whereas you need Immortals to counter Ultras, and Zest doesn't even really know about this composition from soO in the first place. And all Zest can really make is Zealots, which Ultralisks destroy. soO's going to be looking for a big Nidus attack. Zest still hasn't got up a fifth base either, pardon me, which is quite concerning. He did end up winning that big fight. I still feel it could have gone a lot better for him, though, if he had dropped some Psystorm. Like, the Zerg was so clumped up perfectly for a few storms. I'm not sure what was going on. Now we see there is indeed Immortals on the way for Zest, so I guess he's cued into the fact that there are Ultras out. He's even getting shield upgrades, which is good to see. Make his army as efficient as possible. He's warping in a lot of Zealots, I guess, because he can. Probably will be rallying some of those around the map. soO's getting 3/3 upgrades for his ground units. Zest has got the +3 attack, the +3 shields will be on the way, but no armory for his units yet, though. I do find it quite odd how Zest hasn't committed to getting up a 5th base yet. I guess he feels that maybe he can't move out to secure one of those, and so he's just going to stay on his low economy, not stretch himself too thin, build up a good army. Some of those Phoenix still alive, by the way, with an enormous amount of kills. One of them with... There was an 11 one, which is so many kills. 11 kills, 1 HP. Pretty good for a Phoenix. Some Zealots move out, they find a Nidus Worm, but then they also find a bunch of Ultras, Lings, and Ultra Lings and Banelings. An Immortal is running back for Zest, but soO also has Infestors. He's going to abduct that poor Immortal, make him waddle to his death as the Ultras and Lings will kill him. Zest has some more Zealots getting caught, and this is going to be rather concerning for Zest. The Infestors can just Neural Parasite the Immortals. The Colossus will pretty much be useless against the Ultras. I mean, there's a few Lings the Colossus will be good against, but other than that, not really. So Zest is in a very, very tough spot. He's going to be losing an Archon to this Zerg Swarm. The economy of soO is really going now. He's just got so many extra bases going for him, whereas Zest hasn't been able to take a 5th base yet. He wants to try and get up a 5th base as soon as possible, but it just isn't happening, and it's going to be really hard for him to secure it. We see Zest with his bajillion minerals has sent Zealots every which way, and he may actually get some good damage done. I'd like to see him split them up. I mean, I'm all for big Zealot attacks, however, 16 does seem to be a few too many. Like, he's got to get 1,600 minerals worth of damage for this to be worth it. Getting one hatch is pretty good, but he needs to get some more. He does recall, though. Oh, okay. That was slick. I totally thought those Zealots were committed. Forgot recall existed for a second. Now we do see Zest getting up a 5th base. He's still got a decent mineral bank, so maybe he can secure this base with a lot of cannons. He's built up a pretty good Immortal count, too, which is exciting. He's got some High Templar. So far, the Psystorms have been really non-existent for Zest this game, but maybe we can see some big ones later on. Corruptors are now out on the map, but no Broodlords at the minute for soO. Zest is throwing up a ton of cannons, trying to secure this location. All the while, there's a ton of Zealots just tucking up in the bottom right-hand side of the map, getting really bogged up there. Psystorm getting dropped on the Corruptors, but the Colossus are still very vulnerable. Immortals, Psystorm's hitting a lot of the Banelings, taking them out. Now the Immortals going to try and stand against the Ultras. The Colossus are falling to the Corruptors, but I think this many Immortals might actually be enough for Zest to take care of this, and it looks like it will be. So Zest not able to take out the Corruptors, but he does take out all of the Ultras for soO. A really, really good fight for Zest. He did, however, lose 24 probes. However, he did keep his 5th base alive, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. We do see, though, soO going to be going for another finisher. His first attempted finisher was 11 Ultras. This one's going to be 150 Zerglings, 9 Broodlords. So just going to be really trying to tie up Zest's army, and seeing as how Zest has very little anti-air, I'm quite concerned for Zest. He's going to be running right underneath these Broodlords, and I think that might be it. A very, very good fungal for soO. Zest is going to tap out. GG gets called as soO takes the game. What a match. What a match we could analyze to see exactly what happened. Those players playing such a crazy match. This is the kind of StarCraft that I absolutely love. I think Zest had a chance, but in the end, not getting up a 5th base hurt him too much. soO just had too good of an economy. And I want to go back. Let's actually go back quite a bit to, yeah, before this is the fight I wanted to take a look at. When Zest came down to take this fight, I want to point out the lack of Psystorms before this fight happened. Come on, fight, fight, fight. Okay, so Zest moves down to take his fight. He's got 3 High Templar that have almost full energy on them. And I don't think we see a single Psystorm. And look how clumped up the Zerg army is. I know Zest was commanding to lift with his Phoenix, but Psystorm in this position stops the Banelings rolling forward. It catches pretty much everything. Spam 2 Psystorms, feed back a bunch of the units if he can. I know Zest was controlling absolutely everything, but I feel the High Templar not doing anything when they were definitely in range was quite a waste for Zest. As, yeah, the High Templar were here. They absolutely could have got some Psystorms off. Like, where's that storm at? And then I think if Zest wins this, he keeps a lot more of his army alive. And then, yeah, I think he keeps a lot more of his army alive, or even if he spams feedback, like that's 6 feedback, that takes out so much queen energy. I think that this could have been a different game. I think he maybe could have just pushed up, taken a 5th base without the threat of having to stay back just to remax, or yeah, I'm really not sure. But ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this game, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you made it to the end of the video and you enjoyed the commentary, join the Discord if you haven't, it's linked in the description, and so is that membership link. This has been LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.